Hello learners and happy Monday. We are completing weeks 14 and 15. Can we trust the numbers? There will not be another weekly instructional lesson next week. I'm combining the 2 weeks together, so there won't be anything on December 2nd. I will be back with you on December 9th then for week 16. Okay, so if you remember, we have school Monday and Tuesday, and then there is no school Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday because of Thanksgiving break if you are on track. Okay? So here we go. Okay, so we are wrapping up, like I said, the final projects, week 14 and 15. It's nice if you could, work on them and then submit them together because they're going to make more sense if you do them and then do the one, then do the other, and then submit them. Okay, so the final projects are how, when, and why should we trust the numbers, and a data manipulation presentation. And I will go into some detail about how to do both of those. Okay, so our learning target is I can successfully answer the question of how, when, and why should we trust the numbers. Okay, so if you remember, we've been talking about the description of the project, but in this project you completed an inquiry in which you will look at the 2 historical and 1 contemporary issues, which we've done with data and how it can intentionally and unintentionally present biases. So we've learned a lot about biases, who presents it, if it comes from the government, the people, another government, looking at what another government did. You can explore how sets of data can differ based on who reported them, what was considered in reporting them, what motivation or key message was important to the group or individual reporting them, and how and why they were manipulated. After exploring the different examples, you answer the compelling question, how, when, and why should we trust the numbers? Then you find an issue that you care about, which has data and statistics relevant to it already. So whether it's sports, the environment, find something that you care about, and you're going to learn to manipulate and represent the data in different ways. Just like I told you last week, I can say I ate 4 pieces of pizza. However, I did not say I ate the entire pizza, which was the 4 slices. So it's how you present this data. And throughout the project, you're going to reflect on the relevance of school and understanding the biases and the messages behind data in your own life. Okay, so the different parts of the project, we have looked at the Great Leap Forward, Holodomor, and Afghanistan, and you should have selected a topic by now. Okay. So this is one of the final projects, how, when, and why should we trust the numbers. So you are going to go through here the parts using final document set, answer some questions, then we're going to summarize it. Part 2, using the answers to each of the supporting questions, answer the compelling question, how, when, and why should we trust the numbers. And it talks about argumentative claim, evidence, and how you're combining everything. If it's easier for you to kind of write this out as a paper, that's perfectly fine. So if you don't want to turn it in as this, but rather have everything in a well-written paper, you're more than welcome to do that as well. And then you're going to reflect on the habit relevance of school in the context of this project and analyzing data for biases. Okay, so if you're not sure what that is, just go back to the different slides. Actually, I think it's a little bit further ahead on the habit relevance of school. And I've talked about it in other lessons as well. Okay, and like I said, if you feel comfortable writing this as a big paper, you're more than welcome to. Okay, this is going to help you complete the project, okay? So it says, in life, we need to be able to use evidence, statistics, and data to make decisions. There's a strong tendency for students to encounter bias in evidence and decide that the evidence simply can't be used or trusted. Okay, but we looked at 3 checkpoints about manipulation, bias, and data, and this type of reaction would also rule out data and statistics. However, all evidence and data are created, curated, interpreted by humans, meaning we can never truly rule out bias. Okay, so go through this, and then they'll ask you some questions over here, and then you can use this to help you complete the final project number 1. Okay, for final project number 2, you are going to complete a small presentation. So after you select a topic that's meaningful to you, you collect some data about it, you work to manipulate it in different ways. This can be both visual or numerical and will ultimately be displayed in a slideshow showing at least 3 different interpretations of the data. So you can have percentages, you can have charts, you can have pie charts, you can have all sorts of different ways to manipulate the data. And the more drastic and opposing your takeaway messages can be, for the better. Okay, so here's what your information is going to go into over here. But let me click on this presentation. Okay, so you will go through, you can add your topic, and then obviously you can add some color to this. You can change it around, make it, personalize. It doesn't have to be this white backdrop with very little meaning. Maybe there's something that you could put in that looks more like your project, something with animals if you chose animals, or something with the environment. Manipulation 1, probably just the manipulation, no titles, so maybe some notes, some details. You don't have to have full sentences. Remember, it's just supposed to be a little bit shocking where the information came from. Maybe a percentage. Okay, don't forget to include your sources. Manipulation number 3. So like I said, break out some charts, some different things. But you're supposed to show this in a way that is kind of shocking, and it might not completely be 100% the truth. You may have shown it in a way that you're leaving out details, like me not talking about the entire pizza. Okay, and then you're going to answer this and reflect. What are some important questions to ask when looking at data? What method will you use in the future when data is given to you? And how has learning from this project been relevant to your own life? Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. Okay, and again, just the definitions we've been studying. So the engage for this activity, what do you know? What do you wonder? And what do you still need to maybe learn, okay, about trusting numbers? And then I threw some things in here. There's some really great things on BrainPop. There's a good reading about statistics in depth. It's not long. It reviews bias in statistics. Remember, the username is CPDLF and student is the password. The video, statistics from BrainPop, to review a lot of the information we learned, and take some notes on how statistics are used in the video and how they gather data and possibly present it in a biased way. And the do, I would like you to maybe make a map. It's based off the video. You click on this link, it will take you to BrainPop. You can put pictures and text in. And if you're up for an adventure, you could actually go to the grocery store and complete this graphic organizer. It's really, really neat. It has some good information on it. I should click on these to bring them up here. Okay, so you can see the product and inspect the packaging for any statistical claims. Maybe it says, 9 out of 10 people prefer this toothpaste, something like that. Okay, so that's kind of neat. And the make a map's really neat too. I wish I would have known this for my ConnectU assignment. I didn't know this was in here. But you can actually, in many of the BrainPop videos, you can take pictures, you can slide things and make the different maps and kind of branch off with statistics. So have a little fun with that. It's a little bit different than our typical do. Okay, so why is it so important for the public to examine what source their information is from, as well as look at all sides of an issue? Hopefully, maybe you have more information to add on this. Why do we need to look at all the sources? So in order to check your understanding, there is a small quiz from BrainPop. So if you log in, again, it'll take you to that site, and then you can just click the graded quiz. You might want to review first as well. Okay, and then you will take your information you gained in these units and complete your 2 final projects for the elaborate. And the COG skills are here: point of view, claim, evidence, organizing information, selecting evidence, multimedia with your presentation you're completing. And then the habits of success, we talked about this throughout the project. You have opportunities to reflect on how learning about bias and data and statistics will influence your own decision-making in life. Okay, so as you walk away from this project, how are you going to look at data a little bit more differently on the packaging, on commercials, when you're reading an article, looking at the newspaper? So many ways to get data. Okay, and then what new information have you learned from this lesson, this unit? Okay, and then the overview again. So I know this may be a little confusing for this project. Hopefully I explained it in a way that makes sense. If you get into the lessons and start looking, I think it'll make even more sense to you. But there are 2 final projects. Okay, one is the presentation, which you can, add some color, make it more your own. And the other one was looking at, I'll go back here, looking at this question activity and then turning it into this will be more of a writing assignment. Okay, so questions, concerns, please reach out to me. Like I said, you do have the 2 weeks to do this assignment, and there will not be a new lesson until December 9th. Okay, so questions, concerns, reach out. If not, you have a wonderful Thanksgiving break. Thanks.